Hello students, I'm Anshu Batra, TGT English from KV number 1 Itanagar, and today we will study a short poem, Dust of Snow, from class 10th, first flight book. And as you can see this is the image of the poet of this poem, whose name is Robert Frost. Right? Robert Frost was born on 26th March 1874 and he died on January 29, 1963. You know, students, he was one of the most famous poets of the 20th century, and his first published poetry collection was A Boy's Will. Okay, he was an American poet, and you know, students, he was known for his realistic depictions of rural life. Frequently wrote about settings from rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to explain complex social and philosophical themes. And his famous poems are The Road Not Taken, Fire and Ice, A Patch of Old Snow, etc. Dear students, he was such an ocean of knowledge that it was not possible for me to give his complete information in a single slide. But dear students, I can try to give you some more informations about him. In 1924, Robert Frost won the Pulitzer Prize for his book New Hampshire, a poem with notes and grace notes. He went on to win 3 more Pulitzers for collected poems in 1931, a further range in 1937, and A Witness Tree in 1943. So dear students, let's begin a beautiful poetry, Dust of Snow, which looks small but it has a very deep meaning hidden in it. The way a crow swooped down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. Dear students, as you see, this is 8-line poetry having stanza of 4 lines. Let's see the gist or central idea of the poem. Dust of Snow is a beautiful poem written by the famous American poet Robert Frost. It depicts a simple moment, but it has great significance or importance. The poem is set on a wintry day. The snow is falling heavily. The poet is depressed and has lost all hope. He is sitting under a hemlock tree. A small natural incident changes his sad mood into a happy mood. The poem teaches us that one should never be desperate and hopeless. There is always scope for a change. So dear students, as you see that this is a wintry day and everywhere snowfall is there, it makes the poet depressed. The poet is very sad, but something happens in this poem which makes the poet suddenly change his mood. He was desperate, means depressed, disappointed, hopeless. But what's that thing that makes him happy? Let's see. as stanza 1 is, the way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. In this poem, the poet is talking about a winter's day when all the treetops were covered with snowflakes. The poet was walking under one such snow-covered tree. This was a hemlock tree. The hemlock tree is usually associated with poison and toxicity, as a poison named hemlock is also made. Thus, this tree cannot be associated or related with anything positive. However, a crow came and sat down on this tree suddenly. Because of this sudden motion, the mass of snowflakes from the top fell down on the poet like rain. The snowflakes were so light and small that the poet thought they looked like white and immaculate dust particles, if indeed dust particles could ever be white. This shower of snowflakes from the hemlock tree is evidently the subject matter of this poem, since it touched the poet in the same way. Dear students, you can see this diagram where the trees are covered with snowflakes. The poet was also walking under such tree, and the name of the tree was hemlock tree. You know, students, hemlock tree is a poisonous tree, right? With small white flowers. So here, as hemlock tree is a poisonous tree, it is considered as negative symbol of nature. Right, students? That's why it is written that it is associated with nothing positive, right? Whereas if we talk about the crow is also supposed to be a symbol of negativity, and the poet chose the crow and the hemlock tree to present his sadness and depression in this poem. But as you can see in the explanation, that suddenly a crow came and sat on the tree. And you know, students, due to his sudden motion, some of the snowflakes fell down from the tree and it fell down on the poet like rain. And suddenly, what happened? When some cool snowflakes fell over him, his mood changed, diverted, and he got smile on his face and he liked it. That's why in this poem the snowflakes are the subject matter of this poem, the main thing that has changed the mood of the poet, right? And the poet compares the snowflakes with the dust particles, although dust particles are not extremely white as the snowflakes are. The poet just imagines it like the dust particles. Okay, so although crow is supposed to be having a negative image, but here it was the crow only that changed the mood of poet, who was very sad. Now let's see second stanza. Has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had rued. In this stanza, the poet explains exactly in what way the shower of snowflakes had an effect on him. He says that it changed his mood. Earlier, he had been in a despairing mood, but the shower of the snowflakes falling on him all of a sudden gladdened his heart. In addition to this, there was another effect that the shower of snowflakes had on the poet. He says that that particular day was one that he had not been looking forward to, and in fact, it was not going too well either. He had decided in his mind that particular day would go to waste. However, the shower of dust like snow on his shoulder changed his mind. It made him feel that the day had not been a complete waste. At least some part of that day had been pleasant, since it had given him a new experience that he could treasure, as well as the material for another one of his wonderful poetic compositions. So, dear students, it is true that our attitude towards a problem plays an important role in making it positive or negative. Most of the people in today's world live a stressful life. They face different types of problems in day to day life. A person can neither keep away from problems completely nor find solutions for them easily. But what makes the situation worse is one's attitude towards the problems. If we are depressed or sad, the whole environment becomes gloomy. But if we are ready to face the problem bravely and positively, it helps in solving the problem also. The poet in the poem Dust of Snow was in a sorrowful mood, as you have seen from the beginning. He felt that the whole day was going to be gloomy. That means dark, cheerless. But when a crow shook down snowflakes on him, his bitter mood changed into an optimistic one. This small, regular incident wiped away his gloom and made him cheerful. He could have become unhappy when such a thing occurred. But instead of seeing the negative aspect of the incident, he took a positive vibe from it. Thus, the poem teaches us to find happiness from small things and to take everything positively. So, dear students, now let's see about the poetic devices that came in this poetry. First of all, you all should know what are poetic devices. Poetic devices are a form of literary devices which are used to beautify the language of poetry. It brings rhythm in the poem and enhances a poem's meaning or intensify a mood or feeling. This poem is also having many poetic devices which I have presented in this slide. As you can see, the first poetic device is alliteration. And what is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sound. Initial means starting. As you can see the example, has given my heart. Here, repetition of initial consonant sound is in has and heart. Ha sound. Ha, that is repeated, right? Has and heart are having alliteration. The next one is and saved some part. So you can see saved some. Sa sound is repeated in this line. So here alliteration is in has, heart, saved some sounds. The second poetic device is assonance. What is assonance? Repetition of vowel sound, like in the words way, day, change. In these words, clearly you can say that a, this sound, this is a vowel sound, this is repeated. A, way, day, change. Understand? You might be watching everywhere a sound, which is vowel sound, that is repeated. Now, the third poetic device is synecdoche. Maybe this is a new term for you, but if you study it properly, you will find it no difficult. Synecdoche is a part which is made to represent the whole part or vice versa. Dear students, this is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase refers to a part of something and is substituted to stand in for the whole part. Dear students, synecdoche may also use larger groups to refer to small groups and sometimes smaller groups to refer larger groups. This same quality only is called vice versa. Means the smaller group is also doing the same. It can also refer the bigger group, and the bigger group can also refer the smaller group. So the same interchanging quality is called vice versa, right? Now if we see the example from the poem, you see the poet said his heart had undergone a change. Right? So here heart, which was changed, which was previously sad, and now when the snowflakes fell over him, he was feeling good. So here heart word, which the poet has used, it actually represents his entire personality. Understand? His entire nature, how the nature quickly changed, right? From sad to happy. The heart became. So actually what is heart? That is his personality, right? Which adopts the change very easily, right? So in this part, in this word, heart is actually describing about his personality, his nature. So here synecdoche is there. Understand? So you might have understood that synecdoche refers to the whole of a thing by the name of any one of its part, right? Now, fourth poetic device is metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor shows comparison between two things that are unrelated but shares some common features. So as you can see in the example, in this poem, the poet compares snowflakes from hemlock tree to dust. The snowflakes which are falling from the hemlock tree, the poet has compared that snowflakes with dust. So dear students, metaphor is actually a word or phrase that is used in an imaginative way to show that something has the same qualities as another thing. You might have heard the famous example of metaphor from Shakespeare's piece of work, As You Like It. The example is, all the world's a stage, right? Where the world is compared to stage. So metaphor is a figure of speech that describes an object or action in a way that isn't literally true but helps explain an idea or make a comparison. Now, the fifth poetic device, that is the rhyme scheme. What is it? A pattern of rhyming lines in a stanza or throughout the poem. You might have seen that each poem is having some rhyme scheme. That means a rhythm, a sound pattern it is having, right? So this poem also, if we see Dust of Snow, here you can see the last words of each line, right? We always represent rhyme scheme with the letters of English alphabet. Okay, so if you see the last words of each line, like first line's last word is crow, second line's last word is me, then snow, then tree. In this way, the last words are there. What we will do is, we will give the last word of first line the name A, right? Then we will see the second line's last word. As you can see, the second line's last word is me. So, is it giving the same rhyming word? Is it rhyming with crow? No, it is not rhyming with crow. So, we will give it the name B, right? We will represent it by the letter B. Then we will see third line's last word, that is snow. So, is it rhyming with A or B? So yes, it is rhyming with A. It is rhyming with crow. So we will give the same letter A to snow also. Then we see tree. Tree is rhyming with me. So because me is B, tree will also be represented by B. So in this way, all the words are represented. So you can understand that the rhyme scheme of this poem is AB, AB, CD, CD. Right? So students, I hope you might have got some help by this explanation. Please download the video and watch it again and again to understand the poem nicely. Please like and subscribe the channel if you liked the video. Thank you very much.